She got a new job, she started drinking a lot, and then she got a divorce. Let's see what she's got to say, and then I'll give my thoughts as we go.
I get a new job actually in COVID. So I'm no longer in pharmaceutical sales. I go into tech sales. We start going into the office. I will speed this up a little bit to get to like the good parts, but we start going into the office, and my office is right by Penn Station. And I am exposed to this fancy, like luxurious tech salesman lifestyle that had no idea existed. It's people my age. They are in their like late 20s, early 30s. They're like dressed in these like amazing suits. They go out to steak dinners on the company dime, and they're going out in like the West Village and all around Manhattan any and every day of the week. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is exactly where I need to be. So I start going into the office every day. It's not mandatory, but I just love being around these people. We have a bar in our lobby that's also super fancy. So I thought me drinking kind of in a luxurious way just meant, okay, you just like, you have good taste. Like you're not an alcoholic. So I'm ordering old fashions, dirty martinis, and these bars. Then we're going out to steak dinners with my coworkers, and we're ordering expensive bottles of wine. And I'm showing up at home wasted. And I start resenting my husband because he's just like any normal husband probably would do. Like, what are you doing coming home on a Tuesday night at 10:30 drunk out of your mind? Like, where were you? And so I realized then that I couldn't be married anymore. I was like, this is not going to work out for me because, and again, I'm spinning the truth. I'm telling my family.
Before we continue, it's so crazy, and she said it herself, right? She told on herself. It's always great when people just tell on themselves because it makes it easy for you. She said she started to experience this lifestyle. She thought it was some glamorous lifestyle. You're never going to convince me, and you're a fool if you think it's any way glamorous to be getting drunk middle of the week, getting drunk anytime anyway, right? And this is apparently supposed to be something great. She's going for all of this kind of stuff, steak dinners, exotic wines, old school drinks she's ordering, right, on a daily basis. There's a bar in the place that she's working, guys, and she doesn't work in a bar, and she can't see the red flags. She continues down this pathway, and notice she said she began to resent her husband, and she's wise enough now after the fact to realize the mistake she made. But in the moment, best believe she wasn't saying, yeah, it was reasonable what he's doing. In the moment, she was clearly, when she would come home on a Tuesday night, off her head, right? Any loving husband would turn around and be like, what's wrong with you? I'm probably sure he was telling her at this particular point in time. I don't know how she went to get to that job or whatever, but I'm pretty sure if he was concerned enough to be like, what's wrong with you? How are you coming home out of your mind on a Tuesday evening? I'm sure he probably had the conversation with her multiple times at least. It's time for you to let this job go. Forget about how much the money is paying you. Forget about all that kind of stuff. It's not worth it. And you know what she was probably saying at the time? You're jealous of me. You don't know what you're talking about. How dare you speak to me this way when I'm bringing all this bread to the house? This is the kind of stuff that an unruly woman will do to a man. Because women like this, or let me just say women how she was in the past, I don't know what she's like now. Hopefully she's much better. They will beat down a good man, and then once they've got that man out of the scenario, they will then turn around and I can't even say that. Sometimes, by the grace of God, they will turn around and be like, you know what? I had something good and I messed it up on something which I thought was better. Guys, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And you don't need to go out in order for you to realize that. You just need to be wise. Now, she drinks. She was getting drunk. I'm not going to tell you that drinking is a sin. I don't obviously drink alcohol personally, but there's nothing in the Bible that says you can't drink. The constant prohibition is don't get drunk. So I know there's some people that will turn around and be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go right to the edge. Like, that's not really wise either, but don't get drunk. So she is just a class example of someone who gets caught up in addiction. You start doing something, You keep doing it, and eventually you just keep going further and further and further close to the line. At one point, you're across the line, and all of this stuff is mad, and all of this stuff is going on. So she told on herself, and she's here at this point realizing that, you know what, well, I was in a good situation, and my husband was just doing what any normal husband would be doing. And because I wasn't acting normal, she got it in her head that, you know what, yeah, I can't be married. It's time for me to get divorced.
He's so controlling. I got to get out of this relationship. I mean, he's insecure. It's just, I'm just saying whatever.
Oh, yeah. You're jealous. How dare you say all this stuff? He's insecure, guys. The women like this, or how she was in the past, will disrespect their husbands and say he's insecure. No. When he can see his wife coming home drunk, that's nothing to do with insecurity. That's whatever's going on in this particular environment with my wife, where I'm not actually there, is destroying her. And in her mind, in many foolish women's minds, they look at it as, oh, he's controlling me. He's controlling me. No. And it a lot of the time shows that they had some sort of issues in the past, most likely with their father. Because dads guard their daughters. They protect them. They make sure they don't get into trouble. The same way they protect their sons, right? As you get older, you begin to realize, oh, you know what? My dad was actually looking out for me. He knew what certain guys were about. He knew what certain situations would create. And he's protecting me and guiding me through all of these different situations so I can make it into adulthood without my mind being just frazzled and broken. So she looks at this like when a husband who's supposed to be leading the house says, this isn't going to fly. This is destructive. This is deadly. Don't do this anymore. She turns around and she says, well, he's being controlling. He's insecure. Instead of realizing, being wise and saying, okay, you know what? Maybe my husband's onto something. Let me actually respect him as the head of our home and not disrespect him because I may be making more money than him, and let him lead. And she wouldn't be in this situation right now. I guarantee that.
I need to make my family be like, I mean, that doesn't sound anything like them, but like, I guess, yeah, if you're unhappy, go for it. Not go for it. Obviously, my family wasn't like, yeah, get divorced. But I mean, they were like, if it's going to make you happy, like, I guess you have to do what's going to make you happy.
And they don't know the real reason why. Yeah.
My mom will still say to this day, she watches my TikToks and she's like, I didn't know that you were hiding all this drinking from your ex, like my ex. And I was like, yeah, I know you didn't, because I did whatever I could to make you not know. And my ex-husband would not tell my parents because he knew that would just piss me off. Yeah. So
notice, this is so sad. A husband, like I just mentioned before, right? A husband's, his mindset and goal is all about protection. So do you really think he wants to go to his wife's parents and be saying, look, your daughter's out of control right now. I can't even control her. Part of it can potentially be, you know, he's a bit embarrassed. But you know what? It's better to be, or to feel embarrassed and to save your wife, save your marriage, than to be in a situation where you're not actually telling the people that can actually maybe get through to her when you can't. But again, at the same time, a man's role is to protect his wife. So he doesn't want to put her business out there and embarrass her and make her look like a fool, even though she can't see that the things that she's doing are actually foolish. Think about all the men that were going out and around with her and seeing her get drunk. You think they really valued her? Or they just looked at her like, well, look, you must just be some loose, I just like to say the strange woman, right? Because that's what Proverbs says quite often, right? She's just going on like a strange woman, doing crazy stuff. So she's concealing all of this stuff from her parents. They think that the guy is just some control freak, he's insecure, or whatever story she was spinning to them. And now, years down the line, she's wise enough, I guess, to be like, okay, you know what? This is actually what was really going on. It wasn't that he was some jerk. It's not that he was doing anything wrong. He was just being a good husband. If you simplify what she's saying, he was just being a good husband and I didn't like it. And we got divorced because of it.
He protected me in a sense, which
not in a sense. He was protecting you because he loves you and you were too stupid to see it. Hopefully you've learned from these mistakes, because this doesn't have to be your like your future.
You know, he had to do what he had to do for himself. So after a steak dinner one night, I come home, or in my Uber home, actually, I rent an Airbnb in Manhattan for a month, the month of January. And so I'm doing this right around the holidays. This is beginning of December. And I get home and I'm like, I'm moving out. And he's just like, what? And I'm like, yep, I don't want to be married anymore. I want freedom. I feel like you're controlling me. You are always wondering where I am. Just like, yeah, of course he is. But I couldn't, it didn't make sense to me. And I'm experiencing this life of going out and not being tied down to anyone. And I'm like, this is what I missed all throughout my 20s, because I was in a serious relationship from the moment I got out of college to now, and I'm 30 years old. And so I just didn't, so again, I'm justifying. I'm like, I just need a couple years of going out in New York, get it out of my system. I just need it out of my system. It's just.
See, when I said earlier on, the strange woman that Proverbs talks about, this is exactly what she just described. I need a few years, she says. This is the mindset that she's thinking at the time. She's Miss Independent. She's got enough money to rent an apartment in Manhattan and just come home one day and be like, you know what? I feel like we need to change this. You're too controlling. I'm moving out. And what did she say? She needs a couple of years to just do everything that the Bible says the strange woman does in Proverbs. I need to be promiscuous. I need to just go and live life and not have any leadership over me who's telling me what to do. Even though she's in a company where her boss is most likely telling her what to do and has high demands and requirements over her, all of a sudden when it's your husband who's leading you for the good of the unit, the team, not just the good of the business like a boss is, all of a sudden it becomes a problem. This is why women like this, strange women like this, are irrational. And these are the kind of things which you look to avoid. You never look to get into a relationship like this, let alone even take steps towards a marriage with a woman who shows you any sort of tendencies like this. Run from the strange woman.
All pent up, and I definitely don't have a problem. It's just me needing to live life a little bit. So I move out. That divorce was heartbreaking for him. And for me, but I didn't experience the heartbreak until after I got sober, because I drank through it all. I think back, yesterday would have been my 6-year anniversary, wedding anniversary. And it's just the way that I behaved when I was drunk was not even when I was drunk, when I was drinking, when I was an active alcoholic, I didn't have to be drunk. It was just my priorities weren't there. I was so selfish. I didn't care about anyone else. And I didn't realize that until things had gotten really bad. So I am convincing myself that he's the problem. Like I truly am. Of
course.
And I leave and I can hold it together for the first couple of months when I'm on my own. And so then again, I was right. He was the problem. It wasn't me needing to drink all the time. I'm drinking normally. I was just hiding it from him and being deceitful from him. And that slowly stopped. And then I started going out more. I think I tried to convince myself, to be honest with you, the first couple of months that I moved out. Because let me tell you, I was scared. I was scared to be on my own.
Clearly, she wasn't scared to be on her own. But like she said, right, she moved out and it only took a couple of months. You see, when I always say go back to the word of God, the reason I say it is because imagine reading a story and seeing how the end plays out. Oh, that's what the Bible does. We've seen this so many different times in the past. We've seen it over and over and over and over again. It's the same story, the same playbook. She thinks she's better off by herself because she's going to be out of the watchful eye of her husband, the caring eye of her husband. Now, 6 years removed from the scenario, she looks back and she's like, she didn't say it, but she actually probably would prefer to stay in that marriage because she would have listened to her husband. It was heartbreaking for him. Why? Because he didn't understand. He didn't really see who he had actually married. He thought he got one particular type of woman And then one scenario, one job, one scenario where she got a bit of money and said, you know what, this is different. She didn't say it, but I wouldn't be surprised if she was cheating on him with different guys at work and all that kind of stuff, because she disrespected him. She didn't value him. And because she didn't value him, this is why his words didn't hold any weight. And this is one of the reasons, right? She's obviously, it's all on her, right? She's the strange woman. But this is the kind of stuff why I will say to you as a man, this is why you need to get your stuff in check and you need to be in the right order, because the better you are, the less likely this sort of stuff is to happen to someone like you. But there you go, guys. This is not surprising in any different. This is not surprising in any way, shape, or form. And this is the kind of stuff that will happen day after day after day, time and time and time after again. And this is the kind of stuff that will happen time and time and time again when things are not done decently and in order as God says. Guys, if you like this video, don't forget to like it, subscribe, let me know what you think in the comment sections, and most importantly, don't forget to react righteously. God bless.